Hi, Scott here. Hope you're well. So a few things we looked at yesterday are playing out now, which is good. And there's a few things that we looked at yesterday that were potentially setting up that are setting up quite nicely now. So there's a few things to look forward to today. We'll get into the charts and I'll show you what I'm seeing. Okay. As usual, we start at the top of my watch list and we'll start on the higher time frames. So Aussie Yen. Aussie Yen. What do we have? We have a pullback on the daily to the daily 50. And it's been decelerating and a perfect doji yesterday, looking like a very nice reversal. So what are the lower time frames giving us? On the 1 hour chart here, we see this strong trend line, pretty strong, broken yesterday, very nice, pull back to the 1 hour 50, but yet to break the 1 hour 50. Do we have a confirmed trend change yet? We've got a double top, which is always nice. We don't actually have a lower low yet, these lows here. But when this sets up, if this sets up, it'll pull down to here, that'll give it a lower low. You could almost say this is a low, but not really. This low here, if you get lower than that low, it's a confirmed trend change. Hopefully we get a higher high as it pulls back. We've got a higher high here actually. A lower high, sorry. A lower high here and then for a lower low. So as this pulls back and sets up for IBO, there is our potential trade. That's looking pretty good. We are trading through the daily 20, this red line, which is why I have this on my hourly chart, because I can then see all the potential support resistance zones from other time frames. If we go back to the daily, we can see we are trading back through the daily 20. That's okay. Trading out away from the daily 50 to the day 20 is pretty good. Shouldn't be an issue. And in fact, it might even reject the daily 20 when setting up for the IBO. So this red line here, day 20, might pull back to there. That's basically where our fib lines up to. Fib from the top to the bottom, 382 for the entry, where the 1 hour 50 will be. That's looking like a good possibility there. Let's move on. Aussie Kiwi. On the daily, we've got a strong downtrend in play. Now we've had very overbought on the weekly. We can look at our RSI and see it's been overbought for a long time. Since May, it's been overbought. So due for a good pullback. Pull back through the weekly 20 and heading towards the weekly 50. And on the daily, we've broken through the daily 50. And to remind you, this blue line on this chart is the daily 20. So we're breaking through the daily 50 and we're heading south. Decelerating a little bit, maybe, but we'll see what the lower time frames give us. Let's have a quick look at the fibs. Can we do a fib in here? If we say this is a double top, and let's zoom into the daily, we can do a fib on fib extension, this tool here, fib extension, from the top to this pullback here, and back to the end of our wave 2. So we're doing from the beginning of wave 1 to the end of wave 1, pull back to wave 2, the top of wave 2, and then this is our wave 3. Oh, look at that. Wave 3, typically 1.272 or 1.618 fib extension. 272 is probably the most common, but certainly in that range, and we've hit the 1.272 now. And that verifies what I'm seeing on the lower time frames. So back to the 1 hour chart here. Do we have any trend lines in here? This is a zoom out a little bit. Trend line, trend line. I like my trend lines, they're very good indicators. And if other traders use trend lines, then we need to use them because other traders will use them to open and close positions, which will affect potentially our trades. So there's not really a clean one I can see, but if we go from these extremes here, it kind of follows the 1 hour 50. Makes sense? Kind of what we're looking for. Not strong because we've only got 2 touches, but that may prove to be. But it needs to break through the 1 hour 50 anyway and pull back for our entry. So on this chart here, I've got the short pip snatcher, which is what the daily implies with these candlesticks, big momentum going down. But we've already seen it's reached 1.272 for extension, so maybe it's going to reverse. We've had no proof of a change of direction yet, change of trend. But we've still got the MACD. The MACD, as we go in lower lows, much higher lows here, massive. That's a really good indication. So from here, put some lines in. So from these lows to these lows, so it's getting lower. And the MACD, that low to that low, much higher. So it's a big MACD divergence. Good indication that we're losing momentum and we're about to change direction. Which, you know, we're putting our pieces together here, and it's looking like I would not take this as a pip snatcher for that reason. It does pull back. Will it play out? Maybe, but the 1 hour 50 is way behind still. I would see more likely we're going to see some messing around, and then eventually it'll just break through this trend line and the 1 hour 50, which will catch up, come back and revisit, and then we'll take a long trade as a pullback. Now, whether that continues down or not, we'll check that when we get to it. But at the moment, looking at that as a potential long, not as a pip snatcher short. All right, Swiss yen. Swiss yen on the daily, double top, rejection, big bearish day yesterday. Do we have a MACD to confirm that? Yeah, look at that. So MACD, we've got equal highs. And on the MACD, we've got a much lower high. Very big MACD divergence, implying trend reversal. So that's good. So we're looking for a down day today, following a down day yesterday. And that's what the chart's showing us. We do have a kind of trend line here somewhere. Maybe through that spike there. Somewhere around that. Clearly broken the daily, sorry, the hourly 50 as well, this red line, broken through that. They're waiting for a nice little pullback to the hourly 50. The fib isn't that clean. The only place really to start our fib is on these highs. So we go from the highs to the lows we have at the moment. Doesn't line up great. It's not really that clean. The fib's a bit far behind us through the hourly 50, and it's not really a nice break and pullback. It's just kind of meandering. It would be nice if we saw this break down a little bit further, and then a nice clean pullback, and then we can take that as a short. That'd be nice to see. It pulls back now. Yeah, it's okay, but it's not looking that nice. If you did have this pull back to here, if we just did set up, we'd get a nice line up with our 382 and our 1 hour 50, and that would be good. So that's a potential. Either way, it's a potential trade, but that's, if it pulls down lower first and pulls back, that'll look nicer for me, more tempting. EUR-CAD. Another double top. Is this here a level? We've got a level here somewhere. Is there a level? There's lots of noise around this level, so not quite sure. Have to go back in time and see if that is a level. But the important thing here is we had a clean rejection yesterday, very bearish candle, and looking like it might be bearish today. Do you have a MACD divergence? Yeah, we do, but not very spectacular. Slightly lower high, so not giving us very much. But following a bearish day yesterday, a strong bearish candle, we could be looking at a bearish day today. Let's see what we've got on our hourly chart. We've got this trend line here, pretty strong, lots of touches. Extended up here for yesterday's action. You can see it broke it cleanly and then came back and retested it. That's good, like to see that. And you probably wouldn't get an entry yesterday. You had an entry because it never really pulled back to the hourly 50 because this trend line, I guess. Just take the trend line and everyone sold their long positions there and went short. So it's broken down cleanly, a clear trend reversal. We've got lower high now, much lower high, this high here. And we've got lower lows, this low to this low. What's next for us then? Next for us will be a CBO, a clean break and retest of this 4-hour 50, which is this blue line here. On a 1 hour chart, the red line is the 1 hour 50, the most important line on the chart, indicator on the chart, and the 4 hour 50 is this blue line, which also can be important. As you can see, it's rejected it here. We need to cleanly break through, pull back through here, pull back in a number of hours to 4 hour 50. That'll give the 1 hour 50 time to catch up. The 1 hour 50 will come down here slowly. Eventually it'll meet up with the 4 hour 50. And Euro CAD is it's not an Asian pair, so it won't happen for another 6+ hours. Gives that time for that 1 hour 50 to catch up. So later today, maybe a CBO present, or maybe tomorrow. Obviously that won't happen until much later, but you can see the idea there. That's Euro CAD, that looks quite good. And the stop will go behind the 618. And the take profit will be, I would suggest before the daily 20. It'd be a good place to have your profit target. Or you could take it low if you wanted to. Yeah, that covers that one. I did the fib from this pullback here, which was the run that broke 4 hour 50. Well, if it keeps going down. It's kind of testing it now. Hopefully, we'll have to break down to give us an entry, to set up for an entry. Okay, that's good. Euro CAD, good potential there. Liking that one. See how that sets up. Euro Yen. We've got since we rejection of this level here, bearish day yesterday. We had a very bullish few days, bit of deceleration, and yesterday quite a bearish day. Do we have a MACD on this one? Yes, we do. From this high to this high, much higher on the price action, and a little bit lower on the MACD. So that's MACD divergence, implying we're going to get some kind of pullback here. Right, let's go to the hourly chart. Let's get that confirmation we're looking for. Here's a strong trend line. Looks reasonable. Clearly broken last night. And I think we pointed this out yesterday. The massive MACD divergence here from this high to this high goes from this high to this high, which is much lower. So a big MACD divergence on the 1 hour, and that's showing us in the price action that the trend is in the process of reversing. We need to see lower lows and lower highs. We could say this low here is a lower. So we've got a lower low. Do you have a lower high yet? Kind of, not really. When this breaks down, we'll have a lower high as well. So that's giving us a trend reversal. The setup we're looking for, it's broken the 1 hour 50. We need this to pull lower down to perhaps here somewhere, pull back to the 382, and we can check that down to the 4 hour 50. That is quite a nice little pullback, nice little setup. Fib from top, start this wave here, and down to hopefully where the price action will take us before pulling back. So that's Euro Yen, could set up in the next 6-8 hours. Could be a nice one for later on today. Euro Kiwi. Well, we had big uptrend, a very messy looking thing, but it was going up, we hit this level, had a double top. Now we're seeing some bearish price action. So we've broken down quite cleanly to the daily 20. What does the 1 hour chart give us? Well, yes, it's very messy, but we can see now we do have, it's been going sideways for a while, and then we're now getting from, say, this point here, this double top, we're now clearly getting lower highs and lower lows. So we've got a nice trend happening, a little bit messy, but it's definitely a downtrend. We've had a break of the 1 hour 50 yesterday, which you could have taken as a IBOC, as a retest the 1 hour 50, but I probably wouldn't take that because of it hadn't made new lows. It wasn't really a clear trend change yet. Yeah, maybe you could have done. You could have done, but then you're trading through this this level here. Anyway, if you've taken that, you're doing well because it's played out well. Now we're looking for a clean CBO. So we've had this break of the 4 hour 50, very nice long break below. Almost had the CBO play out here, but yeah, not quite. So CBO still on. We do the fib from this run, broke the 4 hour 50 on this occasion. Bottom of the fib, from there to there, 382 lines up with where the 1 hour 50 will be in a few hours as it comes back to meet it, hopefully. That could give us a nice little CBO entry. The 4 hour 50 will be before the 618, so stop can actually be a bit tighter. And then we can play that down to perhaps the daily 50. Lots of potential there. Is there any potential on the daily? Well, we've got a massive run up. I imagine it's very oversold. Looking at the RSI, it was oversold here, and it's kind of meandering backwards. So there's room for some more selling. So yes, you could play that a little bit lower, past the daily 20, a bit further if you wanted to. So that's one to look forward to soon, hopefully. Later today, Euro USD. Never quite came back to take this trend line. And I found this is quite a strong level going back. If you go back quite a few years, you'll find this is quite a strong level, so maybe that's why it stopped where it did, and now we're heading short again. It's a little bit messy because the last 2 weeks, not really going anywhere, is it? But what does the lower time frame? Lower time frames give us. The 1 hour chart gives us this kind of trend line here. Not the best, but clearly it's gone. Well, it seems to be changing to a downtrend. Not looking great, but from these highs here, we do get a potential CBO. No, IBOC, I think. So from these highs, if these lows are the lows, they can of course keep on going down, and then a CBO could set up with a retest of the 4 hour 50, and the 1 hour 50 will catch up. Or if this is the low, it could pull back to the 1 hour 50, where the 382 is, and give us an IBOC. IBOC because we've already broken the 4 hour 50. We were trading through it. There's also the pivots here, which is a nice little magnet for the price action. Maybe it will come back, retest the pivot, which will give us an IBOC entry, 382. So you can either play a pip snatcher or an IBOC, or if it does go lower before it pulls back, could be a CBO. Keep an eye on that one. Okay. Right, so we've been going higher, not very nice Elliott wave, wave 1 to wave 3. Wave 3 is usually the biggest, not in this case. So we've had a rejection of this trend line, sorry, the support resistance line here. and good deceleration and nice bearish day yesterday. So positive, looking at a bearish day today, perhaps. Our time frames, what do they give us? Trend change, we've got lower highs and lower lows. We've already broken the 1 hour 50 cleanly yesterday. Didn't quite give an entry because it didn't touch the 1 hour 50. It could pull back now to give an IBOC, or it could pull down lower and then pull back and give us a CBO. So the difference between IBOC and CBO, IBOC, if we did have an IBOC, then you probably do your fibs like this. From here, this run down to here, pull back to the 382 will line up with the 1 hour 50. And then we have to have a stop behind the 75. 382 lines up with the 1 hour 50 for our entry, and then trading down through the 4 hour 50. So that's possible for an IBOC. If this does actually keep on going down, give us a nice break and retest of the CBO, of the 4 hour 50 to give us a CBO, then you'd probably do your fib from here somewhere, which is this break, this run here that broke the 4 hour 50, breaks down lower. As I said, this will be in a while because these are 4 hour candles we're looking at for the break and retest of the CBO. So it will come down here over the next 12 hours or so, give us an entry, and then we can trade that short. So now our position will be over here, entry at 382, stop, now it goes tighter on 618, and the profit target would be about the same. By the way, good potential there. Pound yen. Looking like a good rejection off this level. I'm not quite sure what this level is. We need to check that out, go back in time. But it's definitely rejected it, and we're getting a strong pullback. Are we retesting this level here? Which is there, gone through that one, or here, because we've got these highs here, highs here, highs here, and this high here. So are we just retesting that before we go long? Something to consider. If we didn't have that line, we'd be looking at quite a nice bearish day today, a nice short trade. So what do we have on the 1 hour chart? Good trend change, trend line broken. We're getting lower lows, lower highs, break of the 1 hour 50, giving us a potential for an IBO short. We need to come down a bit lower first. Doesn't have to, but that's a bit small for me. We had that going down to there. There's a fib from up here, and that's looking a little bit too tight for me. How many pips have we got there in the stop? There's quite a few pips, 72, 75 pips. This looks a little bit squished. Yeah, comes back now. That will be an entry, but I'd prefer to see it come down a bit lower. Let the 1 hour 50 catch up before the retry, retest, and then trade it short like that. That would be nicer, and then the fib would probably go to maybe the highs here and here. So now we would have a chart action that price action like that to go down to there, pull back to the 1 hour 50 and the 382, and go short. In which case our entry would be here, stop would be behind 75, and enter around here. So see how that one plays out. Potential there for sure. And Kiwi. Again, we've got a good rejection, very bearish action, bit of room to the daily 20, and this So there's some corner of SR line here, perhaps. So there is. Yeah. So we've got room down to there. What we have on the 1 hour chart. Right, we've got a good breakdown, pullback, didn't quite give an entry. And now it's putting back down below the 4 hour 50. So we've got a break of the 1 hour 50 here and the 4 hour 50 here, back through, and then another breakthrough here. So looking like a nice CBO. Fibs at the lows and starting the fib at this beginning of this run here, this highs here. That's a nice little CBO, a nice fib for a CBO. In a few hours time, this hourly 50 will pull down to the 382 of our fib, which will give us a good confirmation of the entry. 4 hour 50 will be just behind the 382 in the 1 hour 50, and well before our 618, and of course our stop, which goes just behind it. So that all looks good, and you can trade that down to here, down to the daily 20. So that's looking like a nice little setup. It comes back for us. Pound dollar. Pound dollar. What do we have here? We have a pullback to the daily 50. Pullback to the daily 50, and it's breaking down. It's quite nice, trading away from the daily 50, so breaking through the daily 20. It's looking like a good bearish day today, as other pound pairs are as well. And what we have downtrend in play, break of the 4 hour 50, but not a clear break and retest of the 4 hour 50. So the other pullback now is an IBOC, as I've showed you on other pairs, where it retests the 1 hour 50, or it might even, probably the best thing would be for it to pull down here somewhere, come back and test the 4 hour 50, and you can trade it short. And the 1 hour 50 will then catch up. It will come down here, here somewhere. 1 hour 50 meets the 4 hour 50. That'll be a nice little CBO. So either an IBOC, it pulls back now, gives an entry up here, or a CBO. Just a couple more to do of the trades that's setting up right now. Kiwi Swiss, putting back. It's been going sideways, not looking great price action, but finally breaking out of this area. Yeah, not really. So we'll see what the lower time frames give us. Okay, we've had a strong uptrend recently, last few days. Give us some potential here for a pip snatcher. 1 hour 50 is pretty close to the pivot. Could give us a nice little pullback entry. We'll probably have to break this trend line, which isn't so good. What else can we see? MACD. Slight MACD divergence. We're getting higher highs up here, and it's kind of going sideways here. It's a bit of a MACD divergence. My lines underneath, I've shown you before. Got a few touches here. So if we do these, go a line from the most recent points. So we've already broken that line, which is not ideal. Similarly, we do it from the RSI. We go from here through here. RSI is okay at the moment, but getting a bit close. So pip snatch is on. Oops, I'll do that. But not my favourite. Seems to be losing momentum, and yeah, I don't think I like that as a pip snatcher. Let's put the daily again. Yeah, it's losing momentum, so maybe it's going to reverse soon and go short. So I'll put that in the secondary. Dollar Swiss. Okay, it's a bit messy. It's been going up for the last few weeks. Hit this level. Where is the level? Maybe it's up here with these wicks. Wicks here, bodies here. Retesting again. Anything on the MACD? Not really. You're getting higher highs on the MACD, so no MACD confirmation of trend change, or not confirmation, but indication we may have a trend change. But let's go to the hourly chart. Quite a big bullish candle yesterday on the daily. This is quite a big candle. So on the hourly chart, quite a long stretch, but looking pretty good for a pip snatcher. Because Elliott wave, wave 1, wave 2, this is wave 3, the big one. Wave 4, pullback for an entry at the pivot, and the 1 hour 50 is well positioned as well. And then it goes to wave 5 long. This is a pretty good looking pip snatcher. Anything against it? No real trend lines, because it's been quite a short run up. So if we just have lines under here, you can see it's clearly not going to cross it. And line under here looks okay at the moment. So at your discretion, pip snatchers there. There's nothing to say it won't play out. You could even, got a pivot there. So let's see if we can get any kind of CBO happening here. By an ACBB it would be. It did stay at that high. That lines up well with our pivot, daily pivot, it's blue line. And so this could even pull back for a ACBB. ACB pull back and break the 450 and then break through it again. And that's and the 450 is now behind us instead of in front of us. That's an ACBB. And you could then take this up to here somewhere. Do you have anything else to go for? Not really. So yeah, either or. Not that convincing. I probably wouldn't take it up above these highs. So probably the best if you want to take this position would be a pip snatcher, I'd say. Very similar to an ACBB anyway. Right, let's look at ones which may play out or set up in the next day or two. CAD Yen. Got a bullish action, kind of stalling. It's like it might be reversing. Uptrend slowing down. MACD, big MACD divergence. That's implying we're going to get some lower prices. We need to see a breakdown below the 1 hour 50, pull back to the 1 hour 50, and then trade it short. That could be a nice one for the next day or so. Aussie, similarly a big run up on the daily, stalling at this level, and a couple of dojis. Now a bearish day yesterday. Not the best of price action, but seems to be rejecting that level. Trend line here on the hourly chart. We've got double tops, kind of stalling, broken the trend line, broken the 1 hour 50. MACD, massive MACD divergence. That's all implies lower prices. We've had a break and a retest of the 1 hour 50 here. That one would be risky because of this break here. This second one was lower, so actually gave you a second entry there, and that would have been a nice way to enter. Next thing will be a break of the 4 hour 50, give us a CBO. So that's something that could play out in the next couple of days. Okay, that'll be a CBO. US Swiss. Okay, US Swiss pulling up to this SR line here. Testing there, testing there, testing it again. A few dojis in a row, looking like it's stalling, looks like it's about to go short. And do a MACD divergence on this one. Well, yes, we do. We're going higher, 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 and lower, 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 all the same. So it's implying we're going to have a trend change. Wait for a break of the 1 hour 50, that could give us a nice little IBO short to the 4 hour 50. And on that one, US Swiss. Okay, pound Aussie. This trend line goes back forever. Showing you that a couple of days ago. Rejecting it nicely, heading short. Looking for a short day today. What do we have on here? MACD divergence, clearly. Breaking down below the 1 hour 50, and it's going to do it again. So we've had the IBO, second IBO. No, probably not. I'll wait for a break below the 4 hour 50. Price action's gone a little bit there. So going sideways more than downwards. So a bit of caution there. If you're in the trade, that's fine. Hang it out. Tighten your stop so you don't lose money on the trade. To break even or better. Should it pull back to the 1 hour 50 and then break below the 4 hour 50, we could be on for CBO. So that could happen the next day or so. Kiwi Yen. This trend line here didn't quite touch it, but nearly. And kind of a doji-ish candle yesterday after lots of positive price action. So it may still go up and test it before it pulls back. Here's the hourly chart. What do we have? We've got a trend line up here which it broke. We've got a very strong MACD divergence, these highs here, triple top, being lower, 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 lower on the MACD, so MACD divergence. Then we need confirmation, so we need to break below the 1 hour 50, pull back, give us a short trade down to the daily 50. Dollar Yen. Dollar Yen, oh, it just keeps on going up. Can almost say it's boring. Not boring if you're in this as a long trade. On a swing trade, if you're in a swing trade, where would you do it? Maybe here somewhere. And this pullback, we'll go this pullback here, this candle, we go long, stop behind here, go long, you'll be laughing. Right, on the hourly chart, well, we've got this pretty good trend line here, waiting for it to break. So just keep an eye on that one. If we do get a break below this trend line, break of the 1 hour 50, we can trade that short. And that is it. That was quite a chunky one, wasn't it? Right, good. So there's quite a lot there. There's a few things that are looking pretty good for today. I wish you all the best in the charts, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow. See you then. Bye-bye.